Is there an echo this time? Oh, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I don't know what was going on. I didn't do anything different, and the echo is gone. Okay. For those of you confused, I deleted everything, and started again because I had a crazy, horrible echo. I hope I didn't confuse everybody. I hope so nobody's watching the dead stream, but I will filibuster until things get back. I got nobody watching, so yeah, I totally screwed this up. All right, hey, we got Praetor in the chat. Praetor, how does it look? How does it sound? Did I fix the problems? And now I got this horrible glare on my head. I'm just having difficulties today, as you can see. So we'll tone that down. Hey, Pete Rock, how you doing? How's everybody? Okay, it looks like people are finding their way over to here. Pete Rock is here. Hey, Pete, that's Maisie the dog. All right, so as I was saying, I've been working a lot of overtime and just working in general. So I've been, to be totally honest, I've been a little discouraged with the independent comic scene, all the infighting, everything, all the negativity. It's got me a little disheartened this past week, so I kind of been avoiding the internet. I haven't made a lot of videos, and my posting on Twitter has gone down a lot. So between a lot of work, the way the world is, and the way the independent comic scene has just evolved into factions fighting, I've kind of withdrawn a little bit. Okay. How you doing, Felsbug? I like the name. Can you explain the name? It's kind of interesting as my hair gets crazy. Henry, yes, Henry. And Henry said a really nice thing that I've got him interested in reading some old comics. Thank you, Henry. That's what it's all about. It's about comics. And yeah, it's got toxic as hell, and it's gotten a little annoying. Like I said, it's gotten a little disheartening. I don't want to say discouraging. It's gotten a little disheartening. And I've been feeling that everybody's fighting, everybody's battling. The only streams that people seem to watch are these trashing everybody and fighting, and I'm like, is this what comics is? Because the independent scene, we're no different than the mainstream now. I mean, listen to Valerie D'Orzio's what she's been saying on Twitter. It's the whole mainstream, they've been nothing but fighting and being horrible to each other for 20 years, and that's and what. So I guess we made it. Congratulations. But anyway, I haven't even been promoting my comic. I had a few sales this week. I haven't even been promoting. Just didn't feel like it. So anyway, Sunday Comics. Let's get back to Sunday Comics. This and Two Beards, One Comic that I do with Chelsea Kelsey Shannon are my two favorite things that I do on this channel. And so let's focus on comics. Let's focus on the good. Yep, I agree with you, Felsbug. I watch Trash Cash, but the rest of just talk. Yeah, well, I don't want to watch a 6-hour stream talking about how bad somebody is, especially after I've heard it for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months already. You want to hear me talk about the same restaurant that I don't like for a year, 6 hours a day? If I had a coworker that did that at work, I'd punch him in the face. So, but whatever works. Well, I guess whatever gets you the super chats. All right, so let's take a look at a great comic over here. This is, again, this drives me nuts. I hate this. I mean, I understand ads reduce the price of comics and they help make it affordable for little kids, but geez, that just drives me nuts. There ought to be a law. So here we got Avengers Annual number 10, and as we can see over here, it's 1981. Just imagine it's 1981 and you're shelling out 75 cents for comics. It's funny because somebody in the thread that I stopped because of I don't know what happened. There was just horrible echo. It was driving me crazy. Somebody in the comments, somebody said this is a cover to sell a comic, and it's funny because I don't particularly like this cover. But, I got cool. I got all 10 people back. Is Marcus here too? What do you guys think about this cover? I don't know. I do generally like the Windows advertisement, but something about this cover, I've never liked this cover. To me, it wasn't something that stuck out on the spinner rack for me. But here we go. Everything I like. I love the quarter box with these John Byrne faces. I think it's Terry Austin inking them. It's oh yeah, Okay, it's messy. Yeah, Henry agrees with me. It's a little messy. It's a little messy. I don't know if I was the editor, I would have been like, try again. So here we go. So this is the era when Avengers, well, not just Avengers, but when all annuals, they were something you looked forward to. Just remember the annual before this was the the culmination of the Jim Starlin Warlock story. So or and then that was Avengers Annual number 9, which is one of the greatest comic books ever, which led directly into Marvel 2-in-1 Annual, 2, perhaps the greatest comic of all time. But and then they follow it up with Annual 10, and I can't even remember what 11 is. But these annuals were so good. You're a little kid. This is it. This what else do you want? 75 cents. I don't remember where I bought this. Usually I remember where it was when I bought this. Oh, and here's something. This tape over here. I didn't notice that. Does anybody know how to get tape off of comics? I asked that when I started up before it stopped, and I don't know if anybody responded. So before I open it up, let's check out the comments. Feldsbug, we need people like you focusing on the love of comics. Alzamat has been doing good videos. Okay, I don't know Alzamat. Can you when this goes up in the regular comments on YouTube, could you remind me? I'll check them out. Chris Claremont, yes, Chris Claremont wrote this. It's messy. Yeah, the cover is messy. As a kid, I loved it. It always stuck with me. Okay, yeah, I mean, I remember this cover, but I just remember it as a little messy. So let's open this up. Which did you say was the best comic? Marvel Annual. Oh yeah. If you watch my Two Beards, One Comic, the show that I do with Kelsey Shannon, we just finished up Jim Starlin's Warlock, and it was an epic in the real sense of the word. Everybody calls comics epic, but that was an epic comic that took years to fulfill, and it culminated in Avengers Annual number 9, and then Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 2. Those two are two of the best. I put them up there with X-Men 137. Just some of the best comics ever produced. Yes, Marcus. Sorry, I had to dump that stream. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't fix it, so I just dumped that stream. I'll delete that, like 3 minutes of me going hello, and just start all over again. I hope that didn't cause. I see I got all 10 people back. I hope more people show up. So we're just about to open the comic. And look at this. So, let me pull this. There we go. We can see that. So we got this gorgeous artwork. We got San Francisco over here, the Golden Gate Bridge, and lo and behold, somebody's jumping, and we got Spider-Woman just jumping in and saving somebody from certain doom. I'll try to see if this can focus it a little bit better. And we got the credits over here. Can we see the credits? We got Chris Claremont, writer, co-editor, Michael Golden. Guys, Michael Golden is phenomenal. Armando Gil, inker, and I can't even read that. What does that say? Joe Rosen, letterer, Michael Golden, colorist, Daniel Anthony Kraft, co-editor. There's a name you don't see too much. Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief, and 1981. Oh, I'm trying to see what month. I can't read it. It's so tiny and it's so dark. So there we go. Marcus, do you know what month this came out? Because I was going to talk about annuals being a big part of the summer, but I've been proven wrong. They don't always come out in the summer. And I also must address that back then, 1981, there wasn't any comic book stores in my area. And there wasn't the internet, there wasn't message boards. So comics just kind of showed up, and you got them and you didn't get them. And then like our friend Carl would have a comic and I didn't have, and the annual would come out. And, if you missed it, it was like a big deal because you had to go to a comic convention, wait a couple of years for comic book stores. So it was a big deal. So here we got Spider-Woman rescues this blonde. So it came out January 1st. Okay. So there you go. It didn't come out in the summer. January 1st. Wow. First, man, they did it quick. I'm a bit behind. Not a great cover. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so then we got this just just gorgeous drawings of Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, and I love that she has these glider wings. It's unfeasible. It doesn't work. It defies physics, but that's comics. So these little silly little glider wings under her armpits give her the ability to fly. I think they've since abandoned that, and now she actually flies. So she flew like Charlotte's Web throughout. You know how Charlotte's Web the kids would just throw out strings of webbing, and then the wind would catch them. So what she has these little glider wings, and she has, power creep happens. I think she's developed the ability to fly. And I love how she has to keep her arms outstretched, and she grabs the blonde woman with her legs, but she loses the wind and she falls into the water. And now what is she doing? She's swimming with this blonde, swimming. And then we got this, gorgeous, just gorgeous. Michael Golden is doing the layouts. Amanda Gill's doing the finishing, and Michael Golden's also doing the colors. And I can't stress enough how much I love these old school colors. Marcus, is this the what do they call the Doc Martin colors, the inks? Just everything seems off today. Again. Okay, so now we have at the hospital. I just love how the panel layout. I guess you meant I love this comic. The Image guys say they were heavily influenced by it. Yeah, you'll see why. It starts out as a detective story almost. Yeah, it's a really, really influential comic, and you'll see as we go along why. So I love this. This is a perfect example of this is a superhero comic. What is she doing? She's drinking coffee. We make fun of that trope in modern comics. The women superheroes are always just sitting around drinking coffee. Yes, but she's a superhero. So what is she doing? She's sticking to the wall because she can. It's a great way of making. Here's two women just talking, and what are they talking about? They're talking about the woman she just rescued. I love that she's sticking around to see if that woman was okay. And great way to make a boring headshot, two people talking, exciting. And she's coming off the wall, talking to the doctor. Wow, look at this. It's all women. It's all women. It's all minorities. It's all women, Mars, drinking coffee, talking. It's like it's everything that we're talking about in modern comics. But it's first off, it's only one page. Second off, they're making it dynamic. And here they're talking. And here is the kicker. This is Carol Danvers that she rescued. Dun dun dun. Who is Carol Danvers? Well, that's at this point she's just Carol Danvers. But in the history of Marvel, she's Carol Danvers. Security officer of the Air Force. She wasn't a pilot. She wasn't a pilot until they girl bossed her later on in her around 2005 or so, where they gave her up there to Captain Marvel. But she was the security liaison for the Air Force. So she was a security officer. So this is Carol Danvers. She becomes Miss Marvel, then she becomes Binary, and then she becomes Captain Marvel. And she went back to Miss Marvel. She was Warbird for a while. She was Harrier for a while, and she goes back to Miss Marvel and then Captain Marvel. And again, I never have a problem with her becoming Captain Marvel. Why? Because Carol Danvers, the character, paid her dues. She debuted in the first appearance of Marvel in 1968. She's been around. She is the logical successor to the name. So that never bothered me. Just like Bucky should be Captain America, not the Falcon, because the Falcon is his own thing. But what do I know? All right. So they're talking about her history. She's a retired chief of security, Kennedy Air Force Base, former editor of Woman magazine. Her Air Force files classified, but blah 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 blah. They're listing all of her achievements. This character was, a big part of the Marvel universe. Even before they retroactively made her a super pilot. Notice none of these said pilot because she wasn't a pilot. And we got the ads over here. See, again, I just lamented how if you missed a comic back then, you couldn't get it. And now I'm looking at these 3 million comic books, old Marvel. It just shows you how stupid I was as a kid, because I would just like literally like whoop whoop through the ads, you know. I didn't buy comics, sell comics, comic. I could have got them all, but I was a stupid kid. And then this Bubble Yum ad, which irrationally drove me crazy as a kid. I can't explain why. I don't know why. It just drove me nuts. And now we go back to, talking heads. Interesting over here, the back of the heads are talking, you know, just great picture of great drawing of Spider-Woman. Something about that costume. I don't know. Just a great costume. And what do we have? We have the X-Men. We have Kitty Pryde with the, just unnaturally large eyes, and the X-Men. So we got, there's something off about it, but at the same time, it's great. Notice the coloring. Everything is just dull blue. I think today, just imagine if Kyle Ritter colored this. I've been unfairly mean to poor Kyle Ritter lately, but I just think he just makes everything stand out. It's like everything is just on 11, to talk about Spinal Tap. It's like, no, you can't just make everything the super bright. There has to be like, look at this, just Kitty Pryde. She's in that lesser known green costume. She was Ariel for a little bit. Storm is just being Storm. That's Storm to me. That's still the way Storm should look. That's the ultimate costume. Anything else is lesser Storm. And Xavier. I always, why do they wear blankets? Why do they wear blankets? Okay. And I'm going to do the 2 pages, and then I'll address all the comments. And then Nightcrawler bamfs away. No backgrounds. We don't need no stinking backgrounds over here. And what are they doing? Storm is teaching Kitty Pryde how to run the danger room. And then we got Wolverine over here. Hey, can you hear me? I don't know what's going on. Everything's crazy. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Uh, it looks like this is still working. So my little, I don't know, the internet is going crazy. So can you hear me? How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How's that? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so I guess I'll continue like this. Sorry about this. I don't know what's going on. I told you my computer is dying, and
I guess I gotta get a new one sooner rather than later. I just try not to spend another $1,000 on a computer. So uh, I'm going through my phone over here. This is I don't know. I don't know what's going on, guys. I just feel like perfect ending to a disheartening week. So we got the X-Men over here. We talk about Storm, and what do we got here? So we got Nightcrawler, uh, bamfing away. As I was saying right before it froze, we got Wolverine over here. Wolverine kind of looking stunted. Uh, and I can't see the chat comments. So if Marcus, if you could take over helping everybody in the chat. This is just the worst. We got Nightcrawler over here. Colossus is doing the stuff, and I gotta pick up space and Exploder Rooney. Everything blows up. Kitty Pride is a little she's a little dazed, but not beaten. And now we got Xavier. Check it out. So that ends the Danger Room. What is that? That's just reminding you of the X-Men, a little bit of space fill, a little bit of excitement. It doesn't really add anything to the story. So now you got Xavier checking out Carol Danvers. Why'd they call Xavier? Plot. You know what I mean? There's a million doctors there. Well, she's kind of in a coma, and he's reading her mind to see if there's problems, some sort of supervillain problems. There's the police detective that's talking with Jessica Drew, and Xavier's reading her mind and explaining everything that's going on. So it was a uh, fought for her heart, and then uh, she's in a God, she's a tabula rasa. I'm trying to read this now, but I can't read anything with the little camera on the phone. She's a tabula rasa, a blank state, but her condition is not hopeless. Many of her critical memories and personality traits are should be buried deep within her subconscious. Each time an effort at luck, I believe I could draw them to the surface. Carol was an exceptionally strong and courageous. That's they called Xavier because oh, okay. Oh, great. Now it's back, and we got the
How's that? Am I echoing? I don't know, guys. This drives me nuts. And of course, now it's fuzzy. Oh, that's right. That's right. Carol's mind was. I'm just distracted by all of this nonsense. My worst stream ever. So they find Carol Danvers. She's like a tabula rasa. She has no memory. She has nothing. She has no. Now of course this is going nuts. Okay, it's focusing finally. Oh no, it's not. I feel like just quitting. I just feel like quitting. This is a great ending to a week that's just been driving me nuts. So what is Xavier doing? They find Carol's Danvers. She's jumping off her bridge. They don't know why. She's awake, but she's just looking around. She has no memories. She has nothing. So Xavier comes in because first off, Xavier is the telepath. Second off, Xavier has history with her. She was you know she worked with the X-Men before and everything. And what happened? She was attacked by Rogue, and Carol was an exceptionally strong and courageous person. She fought hard for her mind. Her preliminary scan of her subconscious picked up this resistance. I can't believe it. I believe it's her assailant. Her name is Rogue. All right, so chapter 2. Now we got Captain America. Remember, this is an Avengers comic. So Captain America is just getting bashed upon unmerciful over here. And what do we have? We have Rogue. Look. First appearance of Rogue. Okay. So Rogue is over here. Can you see her? guys, this video is driving me nuts. Can you see? She looks like an older woman. Now, this is the first appearance of Rogue. Again, Michael Golden drew her. I think he took it upon himself to give her the 2 white stripes. Chris Claremont wanted 1, if I remember correctly, and she she just looks like an older woman. And what did she do? She absorbed Carol Danvers' powers. Remember, Carol Danvers was a Miss Marvel. She could bench press like 10 tons. She could fly. The only thing is I'm ready to just smash everything. It won't focus. God, I just feel like calling it quits. Oh God. How's that? Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? When my computer crashed, everything seemed to get set to bad definitions. How's that? Is okay? So that looks better. All right. So Rogue is attacking the Avengers. She snuck up on Captain America, and then she's kissing him. Because she's kissing him, she's absorbing all of her powers. To me, I never liked. I am getting furious, guys. I just. Why isn't this not working? I don't know. I don't know. So I never liked Rogue's main powers being her strength and her invulnerability and her flight. I like that Rogue's main powers were absorption. That's what makes her unique. Like as much as I didn't like the movies, there hasn't been a good X-Men movie. Days of Future Past was the most passable. She's Rogue because she absorbs memories and powers, and then they should go away after a while. And for my role-playing games, it's overpowered if all you got to do is just touch them, steal all their powers, all their memories, and that person is unconscious. You know what I mean? You could just. I've played it before, and that player or that villain is just the scariest, unbeatable threat. So if I was to create Rogue, she would only have the ability to copy powers that she could, memories and powers that she could touch that person, but that person is still active and alive. She just copies them, you know what I mean, and then fights them. So because if she knocks them out and they're whatever, and she never gets to keep them. To me, that's crazy. So I kind of thought like Rogue became like Superwoman, you know what I mean, because she absorbed Carol Danvers' powers permanently. I don't know. I didn't like that. I thought that was a misstep. So she sneaks up on Captain America, absorbs his powers, and thus therein lies the problem. So she's got Captain America's tactics, skills, and knowledge of the Avengers. This pixelated screen is driving me nuts. Chris Claremont had a personal attachment to the character, having written Miss Marvel. I'm glad that yes. If memory serves right, there's a good part of that's why eventually Claremont made Rogue's powers a curse. Yes, it's perfect. The name is perfect. The Rogue, she's set apart because of her powers. Of course, she can't get close to people. I always thought that was great. Is it all pixelated to you guys too? I got 36 people watching. Okay, we blanked out again. I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the weather. So we got Wonder Man in perhaps the worst superhero costume of all time. Yeah. What do you guys do? You think I should just stop this and we'll call it quits and we'll try again next week? Because I'm getting frustrated and distracted. All right. So Now it seems to have focused, but anytime I move it, it gets blurry. So we got all the Avengers hanging out here. I don't even want to point at it. Drawn by Michael Golden, just glorious. And when we get Captain America just bashed through the windows, and we got, alarms go off. Yeah, I didn't mind it either. When I said it was the worst costume, I meant to say that it's the worst, but at the same time, there's something paradoxically great about it. Okay, I'm gonna. Can't do it. Okay. I'm going to try something. It's going to be a little annoying for a second. I was trying to change the settings on the camera. See if I could do that. It won't let me do it. Okay, so we're screwed. I don't know. All right, this is what we're doing. How's that? There we go. You don't need to see my face. You don't need to see my face. Obviously, it's my phone connection that's causing the problems, so easily solved. I don't mind his Leisure Suit Larry era. Yes. Yes. Yeah. There we go. I guess going forward, you don't need to see my face. That's better. It's about the comic. It's not about me. So perfect. There we go. So look at this. We got Wonder Man over here in the Leisure Suit Larry outfit. I love that. And in one of them, I showed Avengers 165. That was the issue where his comic got destroyed. His costume got destroyed. So Captain America's thrown through the window. All right, now I'm calming down. This is working. Tony Stark now is gonna put on the armor. Jarvis is alerting everybody, and then we got all of this stuff. And I'm just speeding it up along. And I love this. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like the liquid armor and the nano armor. I like when he puts it on like it's armor, And here we got Jessica Drew looking all sexy. No, that's Pepper Potts looking all sexy, and Iron Man is talking to Pepper, and what happens? It's Mystique. Dun, dun, dun. Mystique. I talked about shape shifting and being sneaky and crafty last week when I was talking about the elementals. So if she puts this MacGuffin device that cancels, that's the Wasp. Okay, yeah, she looked Janet Van Dyne. She's purple pants, and she distracts Iron Man, and boom, it's Rogue. It's Rogue. Just being all crafty and nasty. That's the way you got to be if you are a shapeshifter. Just look at this cityscape, the old school colors. Now, Marcus, you're an artist. You'd know better than me. Look at right here. Is that my 3D assets just colored over, or is that drawings? I can't tell. But either way, I wouldn't be surprised. So there's just people in Manhattan. Here comes Thor flying down, transforms back into Blake, and boom. What's he hit by? Why, he's hit by the plot of Rogue. And I love this. Given Rogue's powers, I always thought that it was just made so much sense that she had this hood, the gloves, and everything like that. Like, it's just more responsible for, like, in the X-Men. I know Rogue became the sexy Southern Belle, but it's just like, her just like lounging about in a bikini is it's just irresponsible of her. Like, she should be covered up like in a burqa, given her powers. But I understand she's sunning herself by the pool. Everybody in the X-Men knows it, but you know what I'm talking about. With that, if my skin was poisonous, you know what I mean? Me hanging out in the thong. First off, it's gross. Second off, it's irresponsible. So I love that shadow of Catwoman, of Spider-Woman sneaking up on her. Bam. And there we go. And she just cat fight over here. Blake is just beaten, but he's crawling to. He's all dazed, everything like that. Even Blake, he's a hero. This panel is just like, Rogue is just smashing the walls. Remember now, she's got the combined powers of Captain Marvel. Guys, she's Captain Marvel now, but she's Miss Marvel at the point, and Captain America and Thor. Boom, Thor just grabs her and she touches Thor. What happens? Does she still have this? The Venom Blast? It's like bioelectric Venom Blast. And I always thought that was funny because she barely has any spider powers. Jessica Drew. So her origin was her parents were like scientists that were recruited by the High Evolutionary, and the High Evolutionary is like working with AIM. So they experimented on Jessica Drew. Originally, the original origin of her is she was supposed to be a spider that was high evolutionarized into a woman, and then they changed it to her, she was a normal girl that was given spider arachnid powers. Now, as far as I know, flight and bioelectric blasts are not anything that any arachnid could do. How scary would that be, a spider that could do electric bursts? But so she has a bunch of cool powers. She has the heightened strength. She has those glider abilities. She has this venom blast. She has like a spider sense, and of course she could cling to things. But to me, her most unique and interesting power is she has these pheromones. At first, the pheromones made it so that you kind of were repulsed by her. It doesn't matter that she looks great, that sexy costume, that she's a beautiful woman. A lot of people just, if you read the Spider Woman, they were just repulsed by her. And later on, they evolved it into she could control like other emotions. So she could make you love her, trust her, just cool. And again, what does that have to do with spiders? So she's not really Spider Woman, if you ask me. And look at Rogue over here, just getting blasted, boom, and laughing it off. Why? Because she just absorbed Thor now. So look at this. She's got, and just how powerful is that? To me, this is like NPC. This is okay for an NPC, a character that if you're running a superhero role-playing game, you don't use this bad guy too often because it's just overpowered. Just imagine if you were a player character. You were Carol Danvers. Now you touched, your character's ruined. Then you Captain America, your character's out for the game. And now you're Thor, your character's out for the game. It's just not fair. And I can't help but think of like comic books as role-playing games, given my extensive history playing role-playing games. So now the rest of the Avengers are coming out, and she's just she beat Thor, she beat Captain America. Look at Vision's like, okay, and then boom, just I love that, just punching the Vision, Okay, let me address the chat because it's been a while because of technical difficulties. Yes, that's the Wasp. It looks like Golden drew it maybe over a photo. Yeah, that's what I thought. Since the beginning of comics, people have been using Ma 3D assets. So that in itself doesn't really bother me as long as it fits, it's crafted in, it makes sense. And admit it. Just admit it. Rogue was really evil. Yes, she was. Use ranged weapons on Rogue like a rocket launcher. Absolutely. You don't go fist to fist. Like right now, Hawkeye, well, what are arrows going to do to somebody that has the combined power of Miss Marvel, Captain America, and Thor? Fun fact, they gave her Wolverine's original origin, High Evolution. Yes, that was one of the proposed origins for Wolverine, that he was a Wolverine that was evolved into a human. Yeah, so they played with that. They played with that with a few heroes. Does anybody know? Did they actually use that? Were there any animals? I guess Rocket Raccoon, right? But he wasn't evolved into a human, and she was supposed to be Viper's daughter. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Golden punches have a lot of power like Kirby. Yes, he absolutely does. And thank you guys for sticking with me through this just nonsense. So I love this. Wonder Man just bashes into her. Wonder Man is the last person who should be fighting Rogue, just like what Dale said. So what does she do? you know, so she goes to touch Wonder Man. I'm about to add your abilities to my collection, Sugar. Something's wrong. I touched him, but nothing's happened. His eyes, he's not human. So, she can't absorb Wonder Man. And this is one of the things that I really liked about Wonder Man. To me, is one of my favorite characters. Just a fascinating character. In a bizarre way, he is a Pinocchio. That concept of a non-human character who wishes they were human. But he's almost like the opposite. He's like the ultimate godlike being who thinks he's human. He's still afraid of death at this point, and he doesn't realize the vast extent of his powers. And this is just another clue that Marvel was able to just have this slow evolution into what he is now, just this like ionic energy being. So right here, he's not human. So what is he if he's not human? And now she's flying away, and Hawkeye's doing nothing. Jessica Drew was blasting away, and Hawkeye's doing nothing. So let's adjust the chat. This comic is fun, absolutely fun, Henry. This comic is a lot of fun. The first 10 annual, I can't remember what, Marcus, what was Avengers Annual number 11? I just offhand, I just can't seem to remember. I keep bumping into this. Rogue looked like she smokes 2 packs a day through this entire comic. Yes. I think it was a miscommunication between Claremont and Golden. Both of them are kind of prickly pears. So I'm amazed that this comic came out as good as it did. I mean, they're both supreme talents, but I think Rogue talks like Mandy Summers. Yes. Mandy is from Alabama and Rogue is from Mississippi. Great memories. Great. Absolutely. So here they are. I love this auspicious, like big Avengers table. These are the guys. So look, just imagine you are a player character in a role-playing game and you played Captain America and Thor. You're out for the rest of the adventure. You are out. So now we got Scarlet Witch talking about what's happening, a recap. And here is, I did a Sunday Comics where I talked about Avengers 200, one of the most controversial comics of all time. Here we got Carol Danvers. She was in the Avengers. She was Miss Marvel in this sexy as all get out costume designed by Dave Cockrum. And she meets Immortus. Who is Immortus? He is, the keeper of all time. He lives in limbo. He is like a future version of Kang. And then we get that whole conundrum of all the temporal, and I love, they're not multiverse things. In a timeline of infinity, you could be a few things. So Kang is him in the past, Mortis is Kang in the future, and blah, blah, blah. So what does he do? He builds this machine and like mesmerizes Carol Danvers. Look at Michael Golden Dinosaur over here. This is weird how they just have the one ad over here. Now, Hawkeye's, this is just brilliant because what they're doing is they're filling in the audience of the tragic story of Carol Danvers by telling it to Jessica Drew, who doesn't know. I just love that. So while Marcus was his name, was building this machine, time was crazy. And what does he do? Oh, Carol Danvers. I left out the biggest part. Carol Danvers is pregnant, and nobody knows why. She's pregnant, and she's like, every minute is like a week or so, like that. So within the course of 24 hours, she gets all big old pregnant, and she gives birth to Marcus. And then Marcus starts growing up, and because Marcus is there's this time paradox. Time is going crazy, so Marcus is building this machine to stabilize all time. And she's like, what are you doing? And I love this. Now we're starting to see the scientist Hank McCoy. He's not just the furry boy toy. Okay, Mark 11 was J.M. DeMatteis. That was the Avengers. Yes, I remember now. Okay. Hey, I had nothing to do with oh yeah, Marcus Kelligrew. Yeah. Not a lot of people realize that Marcus Kelligrew is the daughter of Carol Danvers and Immortus. So to make it even worse, so he grows up, and it turns out in a story that can only be told in a comic book, Immortus put a whammy on Carol Danvers, basically a cosmic roofie, did the lovey-doveys. She gave birth to Marcus, which is Immortus. So she gave birth to the guy who impregnated her, basically date raped her. And then she falls in love and she goes off to live with her son and father of her son. The same being. This is worse than Mississippi and Alabama. So, and then the Avengers just applaud as she goes off to live in limbo. And I think that was like this, the ending of Carol Danvers' story. Now, sheds a little on this. So she's back. Her memories are erased. She just had a tragic life. She, the Avengers just abandoned her to basically her rapist. You know what I mean? There's no other way to describe it. I'm trying to be gentle, but what other words can I say? So she is suicidal. She lost her powers. Her best friend was Marvel. He's dead. She joins the Avengers. The Avengers basically abandon her to this creepy villain. You know what I mean? It's all a horrible story now. And it wasn't really portrayed as creepy as it was. It was just like, oh, it's a love story. You know what I mean? And then a couple of years later, we're like, oh God, this is creepy. So Carol Danvers is a little upset, but they don't have time to deal with it because they're under attack by Mystique and Rogue. And look at this. I just love this drawings. Now look at that picture of Rikers Island. Again, that's a photo colored over, my 3D assets. And here we got this is Destiny over here. Looking like looking like that male news vendor that smokes 100 cigarettes and just talks about politics all day long on the street corner of every Manhattan back in the 70s and 80s. How's that for a specific reference? And then we got Iron Man. I love this. Iron Man finally got that device off him. He's got this jump jet that flew him at supersonic speeds, and then it releases him to jump. You know what I mean? He could have flew under his own power, but he was so far away. I just love little touches like that. And what did he do? Boom, boom. He just lands and just collapse. And here we got the Blob. Here we got Avalanche just wrecking stuff. Just such a exciting comic. And here we got the full Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And that's just another thing that only exists in comics. Why they call they should, I did, sometimes the movies have improvements. Like the Brotherhood is a better name than the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. The Brotherhood of Mutants, but we got the Blob, we got Avalanche, we got Pyro, who hasn't did anything, Destiny, and then Mystique and Rogue. And Avengers attack. So, little side note, these little jetpacks, what do they use as fuel? They actually use Wonder Man as fuel. He is energy personified. If you were to take those little jetpacks off and you wear them, they wouldn't work, which I love that, because why not just make those jetpacks and give them to all the superheroes? Well, because they only work for Simon Williams, because he literally is the battery for them. So he is an ultimate power source. So even if you had a power source, they wouldn't provide enough thrust because they're feeding off of him himself. He is such a Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, who's not really an Avenger, but she's in this thing. We got Scarlet Witch over here. We got Jocasta over here, another character that kind of fascinating character. She, just like a Vision, they used Wonder Man's brain patterns to because he just a super convoluted storyline, and so he kind of has similar feelings as Simon Williams Wonder Man, and then they took the Wasp and used her brain patterns to make Jocasta. Yeah, it's just some comic book deep lore. What that's funny. In Star Trek, they did the same weird, pregnant, rapidly aging plot in the 90s. Yes. This did it first. I always say that. You show me something that that happened. I'll show you the comic that did it first. Yes, I remember that. That was Deanna Troi, and it was her baby was her father too. It was the exact same story. Yeah, and you're skeeved out. That means you're a normal person with normal emotions. Yeah, in Star Trek. Yep. Oh, oh yeah, I read it. I got autocorrect. I read it. This explains why Carol's a man hater today. It's one of the reasons. The other reasons is the people who write her don't like. Hey, R.J. Williams, happy Sunday to you too. It's 1 p.m. in Australia. I'm going to bed. I'll catch the rest of the stream tomorrow. Thanks for showing me this great old classic Oh, thank you. I didn't realize you were in Australia, Henry. Sorry about the bad start. Iron Man was frozen. They dropped him like a bomb. Oh, okay. Okay. I missed that detail. I think I completely missed that detail. So we got Avengers over here, and we got I love Avalanche. Just great name, great powers. Just wreck it everything. Just so dynamic. Just look at that. Look at that panel. I'm trying not to move because it seems to be very sensitive today. My internet connection is very fragile tonight. And look at this. So Pyro, I always like this touch. Pyro doesn't make fire. So he's got these like flamethrowers on his back, but he could control the fire that he makes. So I love this. He makes this like this fiery phoenix thing. Yow, that Englishman created a giant bird made of fire. Get out of here, Spider-Woman, before this thing barbecues us. Iron Man is somewhere inside the prison. I'll try to find him. That's right. Iron Man is still frozen. And then Destiny. I just love the fact that she's blind, so her mask doesn't have eye holes. I love that. I love that. And remember, she's supposed to be an old woman. Just so good. So good. And what does he do? What is he? Mystique, what is she doing? She's shape-shifting. Who is she shape-shifting into? You'll see. Just this insanity. This insanity. Look at these panels. This is like, I just think the color just really, I mean, as much as I like black and white, I really think that the colors differentiate this. And I think with modern computerized coloring today, this would just be an unrecognizable blob. Look at him. And what is Destiny doing? I love this. She's foreseeing a little bit into the future. So she's Pyro, transforming Phoenix into a hammer of flame when Wonder Man loops beneath the Firebird. Now, I love that. Such a clever use of precognition. She's seeing a couple of seconds into the future and giving the team tactical advice. I love that. So, I love that. Fire turns into a hammer and hits him. I don't care what shape the fire takes. Fire doesn't have any kinetic force, but you do you, Marvel Comics. Right into the blob. Boom. Boom. Look at that. Blob hits Wonder Man into this building. I freaking love that. Now, I don't know. How strong is the blob? Wonder Man is one of the most powerful beings on the planet. I'm going to take this as he got stunned. Wonder Man got hit, and then the jets propelled him through the building. That's how I'm interpreting that. Because in my mind, the blob, he's not the Juggernaut. You know what I mean? And then we got Vision, who's done nothing. Jocasta, who's done nothing. Hawkeye, who's done nothing. Beast, who's done nothing. Looking at the team. I just love this. Look, just all this fire, all this nonsense. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants are just really just fighting on all cylinders. And then we got the Beast. I love that. So at the beginning of the issue, see, to me, this is my favorite era for the Beast. At the beginning of the issue, we had him in the lab coat talking about like heady, important scientific mumbo jumbo, and now he's goofing around again. I love that, right? Fred J. Dukes. That's the, and so he swings off his face, uses his momentum, and just punches Pyro. Now Pyro doesn't have any enhanced body musculature and everything like that. And the Beast, he's not in the heavy hitter categories of Marvel superheroes, but he could lift a car, I think, right? Wow, nice, Michael Golden. I don't think I read this issue. L.E. the Skibidibby Rizzler. What's going on with Skibidibby? That's like all of a sudden that's everywhere, and I have no clue. I could see a jerk like the Blob owning the name Evil Mutant. Like, yeah, so what? I'm giving a hero. Yeah, I could. Well, that's supposed to be the rationale behind it. Magneto's like, we'll embrace the term evil, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I thought the Brotherhood was better. So now we got the Beast is jumping around, and whoops, avalanche is causing buildings to collapse. I love this Vision. Right, it kind of frightens the Blob, and what does the Vision do? He penetrates the the immovable object, and he's having some success. Look at his face. And then what does Rogue do? She can't absorb the Vision. He's not human, so she smashes him. She's still retaining the power of Thor, Captain America, and Miss Marvel. That's gotta hurt. I don't care what anybody says. And then we got Hawkeye, who is about to finally do something for the first time. And I don't know about you, but is he? No, I was going to say he's holding the arrow wrong, but it's just because I'm looking at the chat. We got. I love how Destiny is colored green, like she's not the important thing. Avalanche, Hawkeye mustn't fire that arrow. Gotcha, Destiny. And then flash of light. I love that. Just that flare. And what does Avalanche do? Takes out Hawkeye. Just so cool. Just so cool. What is it? General Alpha memes got to stay hip with the kids. Whatever Golden wants to draw. Yep. And, what's going on over here? Jessica Drew. Yeah, I keep saying Jessica Drew, but it's Spider-Woman because there's been a few Spider-Woman. So she's over here. I forgot that they just dropped Iron Man like a bomb. So Iron Man is just laying there. He's still immobilized. And then who we got? We got Nick Fury. Careful, Spider-Woman. That thing may be booby trapped. Spider-Woman. The mutant who captured me, Mystique, is a shape changer, and Nick Fury is attending a NATO security conference in London. So unless he could be at two places at once. So Tony Stark is still talking, and Tony Stark with his clearance knows where I get the picture. I thought something about Nicholas didn't feel right. I'm glad to see my suspicions confirmed. Little butt shot never hurt nobody. And Nick Fury just starts firing. Nice try, Mystique. Pow, 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 pow. Rogue told me how fast and agile Spider-Woman was, but she didn't have just me. I'm firing this M16 on full automatic. My bullets aren't even coming close. I love that. I just want to talk about that for a second. I love the fact that she's not wearing armor. She's not bullets on her, but she's just fast and agile so that she's not dodging bullets. Her reflexes are faster than Mystique's reflexes, and Mystique's reflexes are pretty good. She's moving faster than Mystique could aim. I just love that. I love that. Who would win in a fight, Destiny or Madam Web? I'll just say this, not the readers. I couldn't think of two 80-year-old women fighting. The Geritol company would win. I love Michael Golden's art. Oh, who doesn't? Yes, I miss word balloons. She modified that MC. That's illegal. I know. Can you believe it? Can you believe that Mystique is doing illegal things? I want to see what I want to address what Marcus is saying here. He loves word balloons, and now he said he's modifying it to I miss thought balloons. I'm putting thought balloons in Heroic Tales #2 is going to have thought balloons. But look at all of the dialogue. Look at all of this. It doesn't cover up the beautiful artwork. There's even an editorial note. And it just works. It conveys the story. It's just so good. So now she's dodging and she fires this bioelectric blast. It's taking out the scaffolding. I just love this. Just here goes Rogue over here, and she gets blasted. Why does she get blasted? Because they finally took the device off Iron Man. Boom, boom, boom. And I love this. Iron Man just runs up and punches a teenage girl. Granted, she doesn't look like a teenage girl in this picture, but we all know that this is what Rogue is supposed to be. Just look at that. I could look at that panel. Was it Marcus said that the punches, Michael Gold, they have the same energy? Yes, as Jack Kirby, 100%. Look at that. Look at that. Just that impact. That is so good. The lighting, look, the slight shadows on Iron Man's face mask. Everything about that is awesome. But Rogue, remember, she's got Captain America, Miss Marvel, and Thor's power right now. Boom. Just punches Iron Man into the building. Pow. Look at that panel. Look at that panel. And even the powers of absorbed from Thor and Captain America must be wearing off. I possess Miss Marvel's abilities permanently, but I don't know if they'll be enough to defeat all the Avengers. Big eyes. You know, they're regrouping, and then I love that. You want time, Pyro? How about a few years in prison? Dun, dun, dun. And what does she do? The Scarlet Witch has the mutant ability to alter probabilities in a wild, unpredictable manner when she casts her hex spheres. So, literally anything can happen. No, not literally anything can happen. The improbable can happen. She can't just point her fingers and everybody turns into elephants. No. My character Mary Sue is a response to this. You know, she can control probabilities, and to a certain extent, Mary Sue could rewrite probabilities, but that's something she doesn't want to do. So not anything can happen. So what happens in this case? An old gas main underneath the courtyard suddenly erupts and explodes. That's probable. There's always a chance that could happen because there's already pipes there, there's already gas there, and there's already fire there. So that is something that is a slight possibility. She takes that slight and magnifies it. Boom. But you know, she doesn't just rewrite the laws of physics. So even Claire Claremont got her powers wrong for a little bit, and that drives me nuts. And she's not a magician; she's a mutant, and she gets blown up. She's grabbing Spider Woman, and she shocks her. Look at that! Look at her face. They're both falling. You know, just stunning. And then look, that face is slightly off, but it works. The Michael Golden with the gigantic eye, the like Avatar from whatever. And there's that Iron Man jump jet thing. You know, I just love when they draw technology in comics. Look at this panel. Look at this panel. I'll put it over here because it's a little too close. Again, look at that. The shadow over here from the light from the jets. You know, you could kind of see Tony Stark, Iron Man. He's like kind of hovering. Just you could almost see them moving. It's just so much skill in that panel. And then I will address the comments. Felsbug, I got the ROM omnibus. It's a dialogue heavy, but so good. Yeah, old comics used to have a lot of dialogue. I'm going over the dialogue in my comic now because it's pretty much done. It's pretty much done. Just waiting for the last couple, I think 2 more pages to be colored. Going over the dialogue, and then it'll be lettered, and my comic will be done. I think thought balloons create a greater empathy with the characters since you can see how they think. It's a useful tool that I think people forgot about. Are just too lazy building motivate. Yeah, absolutely. Blame Frank Miller. Oh, Frank Miller killed the thought balloon? Look at this panel. Oh my God. First off, it's a splash page, but what is she doing? She's just creating explosions. She's altering probabilities. So all these gas mines are exploding. We got Pyro over here shooting the fire. Just the main exploded, and Pyro seized control of the burning gas, molding the flames to the giant creature of living fire. His intentions were brutally simple: to turn his monster loose against the Avengers and incinerate them. Seeing the danger of the Scarlet Witch, cast a second hex and a third and a fourth, pouring her heart and soul into each one without being completely certain what will happen as a result. So she can't control it. She's just messing with probabilities. Under her desperate onslaught, reality twisted, shattered, reformed, and before Pyro's disbelieving eyes, the very substance of his construct changed from living flame to unliving stone. Bullcrap. That doesn't happen. That's not improbable. That's impossible. That should not happen. So she's turning fire into stone. Can't do it. Can't do it. It's funny because I have a mechanism in my role-playing game where we call it power stunts, where you could do just like a one off crazy use of your powers, but it requires an inventing point and an inventing roll. So that's how I write her off. She has like these one-off inventing point power stunts, but that she's supposed to do the improbable. Turning fire into stone isn't improbable; it's impossible, and I love that. Right, Marcus says you can't do that, but I don't care, and I don't think it ever really bothered me until now that I'm not reading it with the emotion. I'm going over it. Look at that panel of Iron Man. I love that. Hawkeye basically doing nothing still. And then what does Iron Man do? He just goes in and just smashes everything. Boom. Causing debris to he's getting pelted with arrows finally. And what do we have here? Wonder Man gonna throw this water tank, put out all the fires. Look at the acting in that. Spider-Woman is just concerned. And what do we have? We have the Beast over here. Some people have all the luck. I got the Wicked Witch of the East, an impromptu rogue show of the Wizard of Oz. Hey, you guys, anyone see any ruby slippers? He's just goofing around. But I like Frank. Yeah, I like Frank Miller too. Frank Miller is one of the legit comic book master. Let's look at this. Avalanche just waving his hand, and he's destroying the footing of the Beast. And then we got Scarlet Witch just concentrating on Avalanche. He's melting that wrecked tower guard. The Beast will be killed. Not if I can help it. So what does she do? A hex sphere frees the Beast from the window. Entrapped in gravity does the rest. So, the window opens. He falls out. See, that's the kind of stuff that she could do. And here comes the Blob. I love this. He's going to... So the Blob kind of has an analog to the Vision's powers. The Blob could create like... He could almost increase his density or increase his connection to the Earth. So what's he doing? He's making himself like to the extent, and he's going to just smash the Vision. But what does the Vision do? He does the opposite. He makes himself unsolid, intangible. So the Blob's kind of missteps, and then heat vision to the face. Heat vision to the face. Little heat vision to the face. Yes, Heroic Tales comic book. Thank you, Marcus. This past week, I haven't been promoting at all. Like I said, this week I've been very disillusioned, very disheartened by the independent comic book. I don't expect much from the mainstream, so that doesn't really bother me. But all this infighting and nonsense, and and I haven't even been promoting. I just been pretty down. I'm in a better mood now that I got this stuff fixed up. So look at this. Oh my God, do I love this? I love this. This is one of the ads that got me into Dungeons and Dragons. So right around here, I started getting into Dungeons and Dragons, and this is Jeff D's artwork. And Jeff D. Does anybody know if there's like a website where I could get all of these pages in order and read the whole entire story? But I love this Dungeons and Dragons, and me and my friends were like looking at these ads and we're like, "This is a game. What is this?" Dungeons and Dragons was new and weird at this time. It wasn't really understood even among us nerdy people. It was a fringe activity among fringe people. So we didn't really understand what it was, and we had to get it. My friend Sean was the first one. He got the red box of Dungeons and Dragons, and then by the time I got it, I got the advanced Dungeons and Dragons, the hardcover books with the Ifrit on the cover. I bought a red box after the fact, but my first set was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and then Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Second Edition is what I played the most, and I stopped. I never played Third Edition. But anyway, this is Jeff D's artwork. And who is Jeff D? Well, Jeff D went on to be one of the creators of Villains and Vigilantes, and he was the main art guy, and Jack Herman was the main writing guy, but I don't know the differentiation of labor. I don't know who is responsible for what. And you all know, if you're regulars on my channel, how Villains and Vigilantes became something super important in my comic book world, role-playing world, and just my life. I really like, even though Jeff D turned out to be a obnoxious, annoying person that he irks me. he tasks me. He tasks me. So now let's get back to this. So we got Jocasta, the android woman, and Vision, the android man. They're just using their powers to fight the Blob. What are they doing? They know it's a waste of time to attack Fred J. Dukes, so they're just taking out the ground beneath his feet, trapping him in a pit. And what is she doing? My last text left me so weak, I'm shaking. The Vision knows that, but he asked anyway. His reason must be important. So what did he ask? Full power. Wanda, direct the hex sphere at the debris formed by Avalanche's final assault. So she's tired, but whatever. So I love this. The Beast, he's got his arm cocked. There's Avalanche without a helmet. So he just must have just been in the midst of punching the crap out of Avalanche. Anybody remember Avalanche's secret identity? I don't remember his secret identity. And, she's firing at the water. Wonder Man's holding the water tower. So what do? They're firing at the ground. He's in a pit. She turns all the rocks into dust. The water goes in, and he is now just pretty much encased in concrete. They're all defeated. Now they're back at the they're at Professor Xavier's school. So the Avengers, and we got Storm looking sexy. We got Carol Danvers in this one piece. Jessica Drew back there in this plunging. And what are they doing? They're talking about. It's a little emotional cleanup time. So the Avengers show up, and she just, how you doing? How's everything? So again, I love this. Clint Barton Hawkeye is brash, confrontational. He's the Matt Bauer of comics. He will fight with you. He speaks his mind. He's truthful. So you're looking real good, Carol. What happened to Marcus? After you left with him, we didn't expect to see you two lovebirds again. Oh, I'm sure you didn't, Hawkeye. Marcus is dead. What? Very sorry. Is there anything we could do to help ease your pain? Don't you think you did enough to cause it? I'm not one of these woke people, but Carol's got a point over here. So she starts crying. I'm sorry. Be not ashamed of the womanly tears, Carol. You lost the one thou stood loved. No, I didn't love Marcus. I never loved Marcus. Don't you guys realize what happened months ago? What Marcus did to me? Our guys, maybe our visit was a mistake. Wonder Man's like, we should hold on. I was there, lady. You told us you cared for Marcus. You left with him in free will. No, I left because I had no choice. Marcus gave me none. So she's explaining now. Marcus mind controlled me. Marcus did a little bit of a whammy on it, and impregnated her, gave birth to her, and then abducted her. You know what I mean? It was creepy when I read it, and it was creepy now. And so for all of his brilliance, Marcus was careless. He made a fatal error in his calculations. When I gave birth to him, his body shifted fractionally out of sync with the. So this is Chris Claremont just getting rid of this creepy character. And he aged, and within a week he was dead. I was free, and once he died, I realized that I was being mind controlled. I learned enough of more the secrets to trance myself home, and the rest And then she gets attacked by Rogue, and with all of that stuff, she just had a horrible. I'm trying not to get into all the details, and she's just redressing all of the Avengers. You betrayed me. Wanda, I never want to see any of you again. I hate you because when you needed me most, you betrayed me. And right now, Xavier is saying she needs a friend right now. Go be her friend. So I like this. This established Jessica Drew and Carol Danvers as long friends. And look at the Avengers. They're all ashamed, and Chris Claremont purple pose. I'm not going to read it all. She's cleaning up. I had that picture growing up. Carol, what can we do? What can we do? And then the Thing, I love the Thing, just stopping a bunch of twerps, yanks, and then gives them all cupcakes. That's why Ben Grimm is good. He doesn't eat fruit pies. I'm going to pick up the pieces again. I'm good at that. So now here she is. Carol, I never would give anything for this never happened. I'm sorry. Don't worry. So she had it out. The Avengers are all embarrassed and they fly away. they're all kind of ashamed. And here we got her comic. I love this pose of her just beating. He just beats that guy, on sale bi-monthly. And there we go. And then we got this tape over here that's driving me nuts. Look at that tape. All right, so let's talk about this for a bit. All right. Claremont laid it on a little thick. Well, that's Claremont for you. And Marcus, you didn't do anything. Are you sure you're not a time traveling guy from Limbo? Got to give Shooter credit for greenlighting Claremont's rebuttal of the which co-plot. Yeah. I forgot that Shooter was involved in that story. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Well, Shooter, he was a professional. Yeah. Geez, what a bummer ending. Yeah, it was. No kidding. So, I guess to do the better impact, I should have showed Avengers 200, but Avengers, well, they did a good job of bringing you up to speed. Even as a kid reading Avengers 200, I thought it was a little creepy. That whole conundrum. Yes, the ending was the whole reason Claremont did it. Yeah, Claremont wasn't the writer of the Avengers. He was writing X-Men, and he proposed this, and this went over. First appearance of Rogue. Rogue became the mortal enemy of Carol Danvers, and Carol Danvers, I think, was supposed to be written out of Marvel stories. She was going into limbo for good. Chris Claremont obviously didn't like it, felt the need that it needed to be addressed, which I don't have a problem with that. He's absolutely right about that. Brought her back and gave her a proper edge. So this was it. She was gone. And then Claremont brought her to the Avengers as a non-powered being, and then later on she becomes binary, and then whatever. Interesting character. Again, I like Carol Danvers. She has a long storied past. She's been around since almost the beginning. What is the Marvel Universe started in 1962 and she debuted in 68. You know what I mean? So she's been around for 9/10 of the Marvel Universe. She's interesting character. She's from this point on, she becomes an alcoholic, and that becomes a problem in the Avengers. Is she almost gets kicked out of the Avengers for being a drunk, and she beats that. It's just, she was never a Mary Sue. She was interesting, but you don't know any of these. If you just started reading comics in 2015, you'd think she was this superwoman. She made lots of mistakes. She had a lot of pitfalls. She had a lot of I would say horrible events in her past, and it just made her an interesting character. I do like Carol Danvers. To the fact that she took over the mantle in the name of Captain Marvel never bothered me. She earned it. She didn't steal any gravitas, unlike the Blue Marvel character that I just can't stand. All of a sudden, they made up the Blue Marvel in 2012, and he's the greatest superhero ever. You didn't earn that. Same with Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. She didn't earn anything. She was basically rejected by the long-term fans. And the fact that they keep changing her, it shows that she hasn't hit a stride yet, because they don't mess with Spider-Man. They don't mess with Captain America. You know what I mean? Once the origin gets set, once the powers get set, and the stories are told, the characters they kind of just go on they turn on the engine, crank it to fourth gear, and see what happens. Kamala Khan, they're still tweaking with her. She's still puttering about, stalling, and she's not really cruising yet. Is she an Inhuman? Now she's a mutant. Does she have stretching powers? Does she not have stretching powers? Does she, what powers does she have? She's just, I don't know. She's like a larval piece of dough that hasn't turned into a bread or cookie yet. You know what I mean? We don't know what she is. And now I ramble. Any other questions? I'm sorry for all of the technical difficulties. I don't know if it's my computer or if it's my internet, but I don't even know if the weather's nice or bad. Oh, it's cloudy. Okay, I'm just looking to see if there was any weather issues. Okay, love this book. Have a couple. Oh, you have a couple of copies of this. Write to Pops. See if he'll give you one. Miss Marvel has the power to get books canceled. Oh God, you made me laugh. I'm trying to think. I think I have the first 10 or 12 issues of the first Kamala Khan series, and I can't remember a thing about it. But that's at that point I was buying too many comics, and there's a lot of stuff I don't remember. Anyway, here you go. This is the first appearance of Rogue. She was just super powerful. I don't like that she permanently has Captain Marvel's abilities or Miss Marvel's abilities. I think that was a mistake. So now she's just super powerful girl X with the power to absorb. I like it when the power to absorb was her main, and that was her thing, but what do I know? All right. Anybody? Bueller? I've been on for an hour and a half plus whatever the last appearance made. So I've been on for like an hour and a half. Now I'm mumbling and babbling. So I'll stop it here. Sorry for all of the technical difficulties. And I'll see you with more videos. I'm going to go back to doing a lot of showcases. I kind of purposely reduced my live chats because, like I said, just the state of independent comics has been disheartening. That's the word that I want to use. Disheartening. You think that we rejected the mainstream, that we would act better, and it makes things like Game of Thrones more realistic. I'm reading a book called Creation by Gore Vidal, and it's talking about the court intrigue in Darius, King Darius of the Persian Empire, and then Cyrus Pitama, the main character, he goes to India as an ambassador, and he gets involved in the court intrigue of India. And I'm just realizing it's still happening. There's luminaries in this sphere that have their courtiers, and the drama from the factions going back. Human nature has not changed in 3,000 years. You'd like to think we did, but we not. All right. So anyway, I'm rambling. Terrible cover though. Yep, absolutely. Good content. Thank you. That's good. I try to focus on the comics. I try to. Replaying some random stuff from John's Long Box at 410. Thank you. Humans get a human. Absolutely. Human nature, I was about to say more political stuff that I don't want to say. Right. I got Marcus in my corner. So anyway, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go upstairs. I got to work on my garage. I got a fan in the attic of my house that stopped working. And last week I found out that it's not having any power. So I got to take down a couple of switches and see did the switch break? Did the thermostat on the fan break? Or did I wire it wrong? Anyway, that's my task for today. And then I got to clean up the garage. I got so many game boxes. I just got Kickstarter games, and I just been putting them in the garage. And now I can't do anything because there's just too much stuff in the garage. And you don't need to know that. But anyway, I'll see you. See you guys. Thanks for coming. 45 people. Wow. Thank you so much. And I think I want to start doing Music Mondays again. And I have a couple of people requesting that, live chats, because, they got campaigns and everything like that. I don't want to disappoint them. I haven't really reached out to any big names in a long time. Maybe I should start. That was always fun. Maybe, I'd like to do that again. See, I got to get back to doing that. But I've been, I'm sure you guys can understand. I've been focusing on my comic, Heroic Tales. For those of you who are interested, I'm going to have the Kickstarter launch on July 1st. That's the goal, to launch on July 1st for the Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter will have another exclusive cover by Michael T. Gilbert. And then when that winds down, I will do Indiegogo, and that will have a third exclusive cover by Mike Gustovich. All right. And now I'm rambling. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'm going to go. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.